All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Muscle Discord Live. Again, every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Got Ron Harris from Ron Harris Muscle back with us.
What's up, guys?
Welcome back. We've got Phil, the Jamaican tank, Clayhar, back. Welcome back, brother.
Well, hey.
Good weekend. All right, so we got lots to talk about. It makes for a good show, that's for sure. So you guys want to make sure to tune in for this one. Leave your comments. I'm going to hear from you. First off, Ron Harris had a great interview with Milos and Giles. And so Ron wants to do a little bit of an explanation with this. So we're just going to play a little clip from the video that was released today on Ron Harris Muscle. Make sure you go check out Ron Harris Muscle, subscribe. And then we'll just let Ron kind of chime in after that. So let's play the clip here. Let me share my screen. 1 second, guys. Here we go. Get an exclusive here. Let me change this. There and there. Okay. Good. So we can play it and then we'll go from there.
Going to be battling for fifth with Frizzer, which is bloody impressive. But he tore his lat. He couldn't do it. I was trying to say, look, mate, it's not a disaster. It's not the end of the world. No. You can regroup now and go do the Olympia. And then if you're that good, then you'll get your shot at the show that really counts. That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Stop lying.
No, I'm not lying. I'm being freaking honest. Okay. I don't lie.
There is I know, Ron, you don't want to hear this, but listen, there's a proof. Your first post was before he tore the lats, and your second post was before he tore the lats. So don't take this as excuse.
Okay, I'm not
this
making
is lying. So you're bluntly lying here.
I don't think he'd have been higher than fifth.
I asked a million questions.
Based upon the honor of Brazil, I don't think he'd have been higher than fifth. He might have surprised us. He might have surprised us.
I asked you 10 times, you didn't answer, so I'm going to ask
What is the question you keep asking me?
I'm going to ask Ron. Yeah. Because Giles refused to hear the question.
Ask me the question. Freaking out.
Hey, I don't want to now insult you. Now is the time when I would start insulting you because
what do? You the clown emojis, telling people they're stupid. I know you like that, man. And then you try and get Isabel to kind of back you up, and it's kind of like, come on, guys, let's gang up on Giles.
Who to back me up?
Bring it on, seriously.
Bring it on. You see no benefits of him entering the Pittsburgh, you stupid motherfucker.
Obviously, there was a benefit to doing it, but he couldn't do it.
No. You started argument with him not being injured.
No, I don't think he'd have been higher. I will say it again. I don't think he'd have been higher than fifth. That's my own personal opinion. I might have been completely wrong. He might have made
That's enough. Yeah.
That's this back and forth.
That's plenty.
Yeah.
Who are they talking about?
Vito, good Vito.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Milos clarified. We've been going off on WhatsApp. We've been talking for like the last few hours. He says, "Stupid MFer." To him, that's not really an insult. He calls people that all the time. They call him that. It's like, in Australia, they call each other the C word, and it's like not a big deal.
Yeah.
See you next Tuesday. So anyway, Milos is very, very passionate, as you can tell, as is Giles. They clarified they like each other. They're friends. They respect each other. But Milos, very strong opinions. He's never afraid to express them very, very loudly and vocally. And Giles was not backing down or backing off on what he had said. And I don't want to make your whole show about this. We got plenty other to talk about. But anyway, suffice to say, it was one of the liveliest discussions I've ever had on that show. I wasn't even getting into many words edgewise, as you probably figured. Yeah, how's Master Bill prep going? Let's change the subject.
Hey, we'll jump into that real quick. Yeah, how's the prep going? I was going to do it at the end, but we'll do it right now. How's the prep going, Phil?
It's going good. Actually, I was talking to Quentin Beastwood yesterday. Yeah, I checked in to see how everything's going. I'm going to try to see him in Tampa before we fly out. But yeah, everything is going good.
Good. So how many weeks now out from Tampa? 12 weeks. Okay. All right, lots of time still. So, and everything's going as planned. Is the weight fluctuating much or?
The weight is the weight. We had a big drop, so I had to do a refeed Sunday. I dropped in like 3 days, 7.5 pounds.
Okay.
We're doing things a lot differently. Honestly, super low gear. Like back when I was starting off bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Just to be safe, man. We don't want the body to carry any toxicity at all. But it's working. I'm growing. The weight's coming off. We just don't want it to keep coming off that fast every week. So like I said, we did like a steak and potatoes. as a refeed, and then we'll see what happens Saturday. Hopefully, I don't drop another 5.
If you say it's under 5 grams a week, you're a liar. Liar. That's what they'll say. Man. These people drive me nuts.
The people can say what they want, man. I never really use a lot anyway. Probably a little bit more as a pro as time went on, but my body reacts with less than more, so I really don't care what anybody thinks.
Yeah,
good
to hear. Good progress. We'll keep the updates coming with Phil on the show as we get closer and closer. Let's quickly go and do a quick recap of the New York Pro. All right, that was a good show this weekend. So let's get Phil and Ron's opinion of what took place there, and then we'll chime in. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to play this as we talk over. So going into the show, Ron and Phil, like, who did you have in your top 4? In which placings, which spots? Is it accurate to how you saw the judges do it?
I think I was 100% right from what I predicted. I think.
Phil?
I was the only thing was a shocker with Sauce, but I had Bonek placing where he was going to place. But yeah, I mean the top 4 isn't bad. The only thing I was really shocked about was Sauce. He did look a little off, but that's the only thing I was shocked about.
Yeah. That's my predictions. I had Samson higher, but he didn't show up the way I thought he would.
Yeah, I think I had Nick first, Bonek second, Regan third, and then Sauce fourth, Crizo fifth. But that got flipped around a little bit there. So what about Regan and Crizo? Now, I was saying I think Regan should have won or should have placed higher than Crizo, but now I wasn't at the show, but the people who were at the show, Vinny Galante was at the show. He was messaging me. He's like, no, Regan faded and Crizo just looked better and was fuller and bigger. So he deserved his 3rd spot. What do you guys think on the Crizo versus Regan thing?
When Regan first came out, I mean, he looked remarkable. I've never seen somebody fade that fast in a show. He started sweating. I think Crizo did rightfully beat Regan from what I saw. His conditioning was better. The size, muscularity, dense muscle. Shy from the waist. Big Steve helped him with his posing. His posing was much improved. There was some he went back to his old ways, but the majority of his posing was well improved. And I just think he just came with the overall package. Regan, if he didn't fade, he definitely would have placed 3rd. But I don't know what happened. I like the older Regan. Me and Patty was matching the pictures from other shows, and he looked bigger a year or 2 ago. This one here, I just wasn't feeling it, but he looked great. When he first came out, he looked remarkable, and then I don't know what happened.
Well, Leo Mehrhofer, when I was doing my live recap of the finals, Leo, who was in the Classic, I think he ended up placing 11th or something, but Leo has the Overcome podcast. He told me that Regan's tan completely came off. Like it sweated off, all of it. And he actually gave him a tip to seal it in next time, to use like Aquanet hairspray. So no matter how much he sweated, it would just stay there. I don't know how the hell he's going to get the hairspray off, but yeah, I guess this must have been judging because the tan looks pretty good there.
Yeah, this is from the morning.
Yeah, I mean, he's got what a back. I mean, from the back, he's crazy.
Hamstrings, yeah.
From the front, his side poses, he still needs more chest. Needs more biceps. Beautiful shape and sim trim, and that's why he won this as a classic physique guy back in 2018. But I didn't have a problem with Crizo beating him at all.
Yeah, I agree with that. He just needs more chest, a little bit more arm density,
more quads.
Quads. You're right. A little lanky. Still good quads, but he just needs a little bit more size to match his upper body. And then Samson looks good. It's hard. He's going to go to Cali. We're going to talk about Cali. But yeah, I think like Phil was saying, he was just a little bit off.
Yeah, he wasn't sharp and crisp. Like normally that side you see his glutes, lines going across his glutes. And I was shocked when he wasn't in the first call out. But just look at him. He just looks a little watery. He looked great, but he just wasn't. Sauce has to be that Sauce to be able to be with these top guys. He has to look crispy and crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can tell. You can see here, he's not as crisp as he usually is. But man, he's been doing so many shows, and now he's going to do the Cali. So good for him, man. Like that's awesome that you can just do that many shows and maintain that level of conditioning. And then we got Crizzle here. You know, he's improved from the Pittsburgh Pro, that's for sure. I know he's worked with Steve Weinberger with his posing a little bit. You can only do so much. Yeah.
Did you see the video? Steve was like, his posing look like shit.
Yeah.
It does, and I'm glad he says it, right?
That rear double is so bad, the way he hits it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like he needs a shoulder surgery all over again or something.
He just can't. He struggled. Look at him. Look, he doesn't know. And it's like, it's crooked.
Yeah.
So, like, he just doesn't feel it. He can't feel it for some reason. He's not connecting with it.
Together. He's not opening it up. It's just awful.
It's, I don't know, man. I don't know if someone can help him expand it, open it up. Like you said, Ron, because he's shredded. Look at him, though. Look at the density, separation. Obviously, the hamstrings, glutes still need a little bit more thickness, but and his arms look ridiculous from the back.
Man, on that stage, he looked like a monster standing next to making them. I mean, tall, his height, he just looked like a monster.
Yeah, that's a good pose for him, the side tricep. But yeah, so third place for Crizzle. Another thing, he keeps looking down at himself when he hits that most muscular. You got to stop that as well. I think Steve was even trying to tell him to stop doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So overall, it was a good show. And then we got Nick Walker. Do you think Nick looked better here, or?
My opinion, I think he was better last week.
And why? What was the difference?
Because last week he was. Remember how I kept stressing how dry, and hard he looked. You know what I mean? Last week, he looked remarkable, which he had to, go up against Derek. Yeah. I think this time around, he still was in great shape, but I think he came with more fullness. So he looked more fuller here and looked more massive than what he looked like last week. And that's why I think people are saying he looked better, because he was much fuller. He wasn't flat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's hard. It's different lighting, different stage. To me, I think his hamstrings and glutes looked a little tighter. I don't know if I'm just seeing that, but
you're right. Yeah, on the back. Yeah,
there he looked a little tighter, but maybe just not as.
Because see his abs, that looked better last week.
Yes, I see what you're saying there. They're not as etched out as they were in Pittsburgh. But to me, I think he looks a little bit more vascular here. So it's like there's differences here.
Yeah, it's the fullness. Now, the fuller you get, we all know the more the muscle grows tighter to the skin. So I think he figured, hey, you know what? I mean, come on. I mean, no disrespect to the competitors, who was going to beat him. So he decided to come in fuller and just beat Nick Walker, and he did his job.
Yeah, I mean, he knew he wasn't up against Derek, so he could be 90% conditioned and still walk all over everybody else that was going to be there. And I don't think it was like Phil said, I don't think it was a disrespect thing. It's like he probably likes the fuller look on himself anyway. So why not show that at New York, where, he's not going to have to worry about Derek Lunsford or even Martin, although Martin wasn't a factor at Pittsburgh to him, really.
No, it wasn't. And why not come in a little bit fuller? And for New York, like you said, press the crowd. Seeing it here, he's not, you know what? He doesn't look as tight in the back here on the Gilco 4K video. But the hamstrings do look. He has ridiculous hamstrings. Yeah, and it's shit. Like
that is see that in the stream. Gilco for the win, man. Gilco for the win.
Yeah, totally. But the abs aren't as tight there. Okay. And now that Nick has won this show, and I got a call from Sean Ray this afternoon, and he's like, man, you got to talk about, the reality of what's happened here with Nick Walker and his confidence. Maybe he's a little too confident, right? And let's before we get into that, let's just play a little bit of these clips here. Let me go here and share my screen here. Yeah, so let's just play this, and then we'll chime in.
We're going to expect to see this year's Mr. Olympia from Nick Walker.
Honestly, my goal is to come back. I like to be about 4 to 5 pounds heavier, get better waist, even tighter waist, and just get better conditioning. And I think if I have the package that I had tonight, just probably a couple pounds bigger, I think I'll win the Mr. Olympia hands down.
Always think like a winner, and you have.
And so that's what Sean Ray is probably alluding to, is like, You want to pay 4 to 5 pounds heavier and get your waist smaller at the same time.
Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck,
Good luck.
Nick. Good luck on that endeavor, Nick Walker. That's not going to happen. We all know that. And does he need to get bigger? Phil and Ron, does he need to get bigger?
No.
No way.
No.
And the waist has been his issue. You saw during the acceptance speech, I don't know if you're going to show that, he completely relaxed it. And you could see the obliques just bulging out on the side.
Yeah.
If anything, he needs to come in tighter for the Olympia. Just like if Samson comes in really big and full, he's not winning. He's not keeping the Olympia title. Nobody's going to walk away with that Olympia unless they're just shredded and as full as they can be while maintaining with that condition.
Yeah, that's what Sean was saying, man. He doesn't need to get bigger. Why is he trying to get bigger? He's just going to play that game. And Samson kind of played that game and it didn't work until he finally came in, dialed in a lot tighter, and it worked for him. So now Nick Walker's going in the opposite direction from what Samson's strategy was and thinking that's going to work for him. Derek Lunsford's not bigger than Samson. He's beat him. So Nick Walker, just play the game right. Learn from Derek Lunsford and Hottie, who's beaten these bigger guys. You know, they come in condition. You're going to try to come in bigger and fuller like Martin did. Look what happened to Martin Fitzwater. Do you want to learn a lesson from Martin and try and come in 3 to 4 pounds heavier, Nick Walker? I think it's a bad strategy, and you're probably going to backfire on him. I would want you have to be peeled. Nick Walker has to be peeled in order for that physique to look good. If it's big and full and the belly starts to get bloated and he can't hold it in because he's trying to come in bigger, it's going to backfire. So that's where now when I go into the Olympia in my predictions, if that's his strategy, I'm going to weigh that into my predictions with the guy because I don't think he's going to perform as well if he's 3 to 4 pounds heavier. It just doesn't make any sense.
One thing about Sean Ray, man, you know, sometimes some of the things he says is off the wall, but when it comes to like critiquing bodybuilding and his knowledge from the sport, he pretty much nails it. I was like talking about that yesterday to somebody. I said, you know, he may have his ways how he comes about other things, and people, you know, dislike him for it because that's just Sean Ray. He's been like that even when he was, you know, elite bodybuilder back in the day. He never sugarcoat his words, but when he tells you the breakdown of certain things, you know, strategy-wise or critiquing somebody in bodybuilding, he pretty much do nail it. So I give him that when it comes to that. But, you know, Nick's coach at the end of the day should be the coach and give him proper advice. I don't think Nick should, and I'm not saying this is what he's doing, you know, tell his coach, hey, this is the direction I want to go in to possibly win the Olympia title. I think the smarter way is, you know, come in a little bit sharper than what you were in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? So if it's 2 pounds lighter or 3 pounds lighter, whatever the case may be, you want to come in, you want to beat that physique, not try to come in bigger, but then saying you want to come in better conditioning, being bigger. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. And another thing Sean Ray was telling me this afternoon is like, okay, let's roll it back here. Okay, Nick Walker's being very confident in himself now because he tied not 100% Derek Lunsford at the Pittsburgh Pro. A Derek Lunsford that did the Olympia, that was off, continued to diet, did the Arnold, looked amazing, beat the reigning current Mr. Olympia, Samson Dauda, then kept dieting for another 10 more weeks and went to Pittsburgh, came slightly off, which is hard to do, continue to diet all the way from the Olympia to now. Okay. Probably burned himself out a bit, but he still looked half decent and won the show. Steve Weinberger said clearly at the end of the day, at that final round, Derek beat Nick Walker. So Nick Walker, Derek beat you. I don't care what the fans say. They're not the judges. They're not at the show. I'm not at the show. Steve has the final say. Steve's been doing this for 50 years or whatever, how long he's been doing it. He has no skin in the game with who wins or who doesn't. It doesn't matter. If Nick would have won, it would have really boosted the Olympia. So at the end of the day, Steve made that choice and said, I saw what I saw. Nick faded at the final confirmation round. So Derek beat you. Okay. You still haven't beaten an Olympia champ. You haven't beaten. So you went to New York and you got pushed by William Bonac, who placed 7th at the Olympia. Okay. So and then last year you barely beat Martin Fitzwater. Okay. It was basically tied. A lot of people had Martin beating you. And then the year before that at the New York Pro, who did he win the first time? Who did he beat at the New York Pro the first time? Was it
Oh, that was back in 2021.
But I think Antonio Burton was in it, and
Yeah. Was it Hassan or Justin? Yeah.
I don't know. That was a good New York pro back then.
Yeah.
That was really good. Yeah.
And so what Sean Ray is saying, he's being tested by these guys that aren't. I mean, yes, Derek is a great test, but at the end of the day, Derek still beat him. An off Derek to say, let's say he wasn't 100%. And so he's putting it into context. Like, Nick, you're not, like, you still got to go up against Samson and Hadi Choopan and maybe a better, more peaked Martin Fitzwater, who's looked way off at the Pittsburgh Pro. You got to take that into consideration before you start chiming off and clapping off your mouth, saying, I'm hands down going to win the Olympia, and you're just discrediting Samson and Hadi Choopan. Like, he's got to, like, and another thing too doesn't help his ego is the fans. They're just like, oh, you're the best Nick Walker. He's going to destroy everyone at the Olympia. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you have just a reality here with this guy. And that's what feeds his ego. And then he starts talking like that, and he becomes Nick the talker. And then he doesn't even end up at the Olympia stage. So it's been 2 years. Nick Walker, you better get your ass on that stage. And if you say you're going to win the show, you better win the show. And at this point, I still don't see him winning the Olympia. I see him being a contender in that top 3, 4-ish area. Yeah. But I just don't. He's got to, like, I love the confidence, but man, there's a little bit of you got to either you're a little bit delusional or you're just kind of, I don't know, just talking shit to talk shit to be noticed. Maybe that's what he's doing too.
You got to look at it. I remember he said this. He said, coming into his comeback, he said, Martin beat me not at my best, and he will never beat me at my best. And that was his statement. Well, Derek didn't come in at his best, and he still beat you not being at his best, right? So, and then Derek, he has not beaten Derek yet. He had an opportunity. It didn't work out last year. But the main situation is this. You haven't beaten Derek yet. But in the Olympia, you got much more than Derek to be worried about. And you can't, you just said, Matt, you can't discredit these guys. I mean, he's a great bodybuilder. You know what I mean? And Nick as a person, like talking to Nick just off screen, he's a totally different individual. He's a really solid dude. He's really cool. I think when he gets on the screen, I think he was very excited. When he was waiting to be called, I was like, Penny, why is he looking nervous? The guy won this. What he's over there looking nervous for? And then when he won, he was like shocked. No, bro, you're winning the show. You know what I mean? So I think it's a little bit of excitement going on, and now it's everything's attractive now going into the Olympia. So he's selling it. You know what I mean? Which is smart. It's smart, but still be humble at the same time. Approach the Olympia with a different mentality, different strategy. But I just think he was a little bit excited and caught up on camera, and of course showing out for his fans. So. Yeah,
Ron, what do you think? Like, is Nick being a little overconfident here? Again, he's doing the same thing he did so many years ago where he says, I want to win Olympia 5 times, this and that. It's just like, does Nick Walker have the physique to win the Olympia and surpass Samson and Hadi Choopan?
Whether he does or doesn't, he needs to believe that he does. You can't, I don't think anybody.
I get it. Yeah.
You have no chance of winning Olympia if you go in with the mindset that, oh man, I'm not going to do any better than 5th or 6th. That's the best I can possibly do. Yeah. That's a loser's mindset. So, you can consider him delusional or you say he's cocky or whatever, but it's an individual sport. You have to believe in yourself and your abilities. And but I want to say this, some of these fans are very uninformed. On my recap, I had people in the live chat saying Regan was robbed. Regan should have won. Crizzo should have won. It was a blatant ripoff. Some of these fans, they're so wrapped up in this one guy that they idolize or that they think is the best, they totally overlook. And I don't think a lot of them really know how shows are judged anyway. But here's a good matchup. Let's look at that. Nick versus Nick.
So I kind of did this and did let's play through here. There. So front double bicep, I gave to. Well, who do you guys give it to? Let's get your opinions on this.
Samson.
I gave it to Samson.
Samson.
Like you can see it in the structure there. I just like even Derek's beating Samson. Even Derek is beating Nick. Tyler's statement as well. You just look at Nick's waistline in this, and so I said, Nick, just stick one leg to the side like like Samson's doing. Just give your physique a little bit of flair, right? Try and have an aesthetic look. Try and play it, see how it looks. And I think if Nick did that, it would just change that whole dynamic of his pose and give him a little bit more of an X frame like Samson has. But he's just more like an H. Like I'm certain that's Bob, but I mean that's kind of the H there, right? You got to kind of spread it out a little bit. He looks great from the back. He does it from the back because he sticks one leg further to the side, which gives him that X frame. It makes his waist look smaller, but he's not doing it in the front double. So that goes to Samson. And then going to the side chest. Now this one is close. Who do you guys give the side chest to? If a Samson's 100% out, this is from the Arnold Samson where he was,
No, I mean, I give it to Samson, but we got to look at it too. He competed against Samson as well in the past, and he still lost.
He still lost.
You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of.
And Samson's improved since then.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So you got Derek and Samson, which you have not beat, right? And he didn't beat what is Honey? Not Honey Chupon.
Yeah.
He didn't beat him either in the Olympia, right? So until you beat these guys, I mean, it's hard for me to sit here and say pose for pose. I mean, Samson structurally, size wise, he's beaten Nick right now in the side chest. But I mean, you could do all the poses. At the end of the day, Samson already beat Nick, and that was, I think, back then was a big thing too. You know, Nick fans was going crazy. No, Nick won because Nick came in so peeled, but he was a little undersized. You know, so
yeah.
So Nick has beaten Samson only once. It was 2022 Olympia. Samson was sixth place and Derek was third. That's the one time that Nick Walker beat Samson.
In 2022, so 2021, Samson. No. When did Samson beat him at the Arnold? What?
2023. Because it was Samson, Nick, and Andrew were the top three.
Yeah, because I was there. No, Nick wasn't there. That's when Nick got. Remember, Nick didn't come to Olympia twice, 2 years ago.
You're talking about the Arnold. The Arnold.
Oh, the Arnold. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Olympia. Okay.
No.
Okay, so a 2023 Samson beat Nick at the Arnold. Yeah. So that's most recent. He beat Nick Walker. Yeah. In 2022, he was seventh at the limit. Nick was higher, correct?
Yes.
I think that's where. Okay. So as they evolved and Nick Walker's physique evolved and Samson ended up beating it more closer to the time frame we're at right now. So yeah. So, you know, and then obviously Nick's improved, right? So he's made improvements to his physique. Back double bicep, I actually gave to Nick Walker here over Samson. Do you guys agree with that? Does he get the back double over Samson? It's close.
It's close, but I'm looking at the width because, you know, that's what they were saying about Derek. It was just that overall extra lat width. I give it to Samson for what I'm seeing. It's very close, but I will give it to Samson.
Yeah. Ron, are you giving that to Samson?
Oh, God. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, structurally and everything, but man, I don't know. I might give that one to Nick. I mean, the side leg, the way the quad flares out a little more, the hams are dug out deeper, glutes are more developed. I think Samson's back is superior, but just like we saw in Pittsburgh, it's not just a back shot. You're looking at the limbs, you're looking at everything. I think I'm gonna give that one to Nick.
Okay. Rear lat spread. Make sure Samson's open up there. What do you think for the back lat?
Go ahead, Phil.
I'll give it, from what I'm seeing in this picture. What year was this picture of Samson here?
This is the Arnold 2024. We lost to Derek.
Okay. Yeah, this one I give the Nick.
Okay. Yeah. Although Samson has a crazy wide lat spread when he hits, he's not really hitting it. The video didn't.
No, you see how his head is tilted, his shoulders hunched over, and where Nick is straight up. That's what he's edging Samson out with.
Yeah.
I would actually give Samson that one just because of the mid back thickness. It's so much better than what we see with Derek. I'm sorry, with Nick.
I think, I agree. I think if Phil saw that the right, like I don't think Samson's hitting it his normal weight.
No,
here.
that's what I'm saying. If he hit it
Yeah.
right, that's a different story.
Yeah. So I think it would probably go to Samson for the rear lat. Ab and thigh.
Oh, that's Samson all day.
Yeah, I think I got Samson. See, now this is where Nick starts losing some poses, right? It's not an easy kind of cakewalk that Nick seems to be hyping himself up here. Like, he's gonna be up against a bigger dude, Samson Dauda. And if Samson can nail his conditioning, I mean, and his aesthetics are way better than Nick's, even better than Derek's. Yeah, go ahead.
We say it all the time, but I honestly, if Samson is in better the condition that I've been waiting to see, there's nobody right now that beats him. There's just nobody has a chance. He's got too much going for him.
Yeah. And then he goes into that vacuum. You can look at that. So I mean, I know I'm hard on Samson, but it's at least Samson that can do the vacuum. He can display his physique and kind of hide that midsection. It was getting a little bit out of control, but then Samson came back and got it under control. Most muscular.
Yeah.
So you look at this. This is like Samson looks pretty huge here. The chest, shoulders. It makes Nick look at Nick. He's like, because he's much taller too. And the quads on Samson, bigger. So who is he going to take him in the most muscular? Because Samson beats Derek in the most muscular and on Hottie all the time in the most. So why wouldn't he beat Nick in this pose?
Yeah, I don't know. Nick has to have the strategy to get surpass. We can't go see. He can't be ready to go towards Samson right away. He has to get a strategy. How are you going to be Hottie Super? How are you going to be Derek?
Yeah.
Before you can get to that mountain, he's got to get through two other people to get to that mountain right there.
Exactly. That's right. Everyone's got to beat Samson here first, but before you get to Samson, you got to get through Derek. You got to get through Hottie. Maybe improve Martin, because I'm sure Martin's pissed off that he fucked up at the Pittsburgh Pro and let everyone down, and he's probably going to come guns a-blazing at the Olympia. So it's going to be crazy, but I think people are kind of overreacting a little bit here to what's actually happened in Nick Walker's track record and who he's been up against, who he's beaten, who he hasn't beaten. And we're going to see here. So let's jump into the Cali Pro.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the list. I was waiting. I want to be fresh. I'll see the first one right now.
I think Nick's Fifth and Power just showed it. I saw the list briefly.
Yeah, it just came out. Cal State.
I think Regan's in there. Sauce is in there. Moore is in there.
Yeah. Why do they call it the Cal State? That's so confusing.
Yeah. Cal State.
Sounds like an NPC show.
It does. Yeah. Nate, you got Regan, Stefan, Patrick Moore. Okay. We'll see how he looks. Bruno. That was an interesting one that I did not see coming, him jumping into that show. So, and Florin as well. Yeah, guy looks pretty good in his updates. So, based off this list, guys, let's try and do a top four, I guess. I'll go first. I guess Regan first. Yeah. Because I'm just going off default. Like, he beats Hassan by a few spot, by one, well, fourth and fifth, so they're close. So if he tightens up, he should just by default do better. Bruno versus Hassan. Man. I might go with Bruno ahead of Hassan on this one. And then
Bruno is from, where's Bruno from?
Brazil.
Did he do the Arnold Brazil?
Let me show you guys.
Yeah, Leandro Perez is also pretty good. Oh, yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, he's good.
Arms.
Yeah, he may. He would probably beat Hassan.
Yeah, like that was pretty crazy. Okay, what's this? Yeah, he's definitely conditioned. The delts,
and he's very thick. He was in the Legion last year.
Yeah, he won some other show.
He won another show, and he took second to.
Oh, I'm zoomed in. That's why.
What's his name? He took second to Martin's training partner.
Oh, Brett.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, here we go. 6 days ago. Glutes are shredded from the side. Well, let's see from the back.
Looks like he put some thickness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Look at that back. Yeah.
It might be him and Regan going at it.
Yeah, we can't count him out to take it too. Yeah. So tricep. There. Good front lat. It's good.
Yeah, that's a nice pose.
Okay. So that's Bruno. You know what Regan looks like. Where's the?
Was it Leandro? Was he second to Vito in Brazil a couple months ago?
Leandro. Oh yes, Leandro, right there.
He was in. Was he in Detroit too? I think.
Yeah, I think he was here. Pittsburgh. No, he's at Pittsburgh.
Oh, he's in Pittsburgh. You're right.
There you go.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, looks good. Big legs. Good physique. Yeah,
he was in the first call out in Pittsburgh, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, he was, because I didn't know who he was. I said, man, he got some muscle on him. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. He was first call out.
He was probably sixth place, I'm guessing. I'd have to consult the score sheets.
That's at the Arnold.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Good physique.
I'm good.
So, I'm not sure he would beat Regan, but who knows? He's got a good physique, so he's in there. And then, obviously Patrick Moore. Has he posted anything? Patrick Moore. Let's see. No, he's not really posted much here. I'm not gonna. I can't count on him, guy. He's just then he's blaming his coach for not doing well. So I'm just like, I can't say much about Patrick Moore. All right, Florian, that's the other guy. There he is. This guy looks pretty good, pretty shredded. What can we see here? I think he's shorter bodybuilder.
He was classic, I think. I think he moved up.
Yeah, that's right. That's crazy.
He's going back and forth. I think he goes back to. I want to say he's flip flopped a couple times.
Yeah. So there. I was gonna see if you could hit some shots for us.
I think that was about it.
Yeah, there you go. There's a.
Okay.
So he's shredded.
Yeah.
Kind of got that Lee Priest kind of look with the arms and from the front there. Quads are good. So we're gonna see. We don't know what the back poses look like, but he could be in the top 6 based off how he's looking here. And then obviously Patrick we couldn't see. Bruno we saw. Leo, Regan. Yeah, so I'd probably go Regan, Bruno, Sass, Leandro, Florian.
Ditto.
Yeah. We're on the same page here.
Yeah.
For that. All right. So that's the Cali Pro. Let's go into the drama of the day. We're getting queued up some free drama.
Oh boy.
And I'm going to get your opinions on this. We'll go to Lenda.
Lenda Murray's a hypocrite, it says.
Haven't we been down this road though? I think last year a female bodybuilder made a statement and she got chewed up. Lenda Murray, which I love and respect Lenda Murray. She's awesome. But Nick Strength and Power couldn't put it any better when he described the whole situation.
Yeah. No, so let's just play it here and we'll chime in. Is that a Rolex?
You guys know what I'm thinking.
Rolex, right?
Ladies, you know what I'm thinking. Okay. So this message is in regards to the announcement that Arnold Schwarzenegger just made about 26, that he will increase the prize money for the open men bodybuilders at the Arnold to $750,000 for first place. Well, I love numbers too, and I want to share this information. At your show in 25, there were 18 women, 3 divisions, and 18 women received together, they split $108,000. You gave to your third place open men bodybuilder, I believe it was Andrew Jack. He won about 100 grand. So one man made $100,000 all by himself, and your 18 women shared $108,000. Need I say more?
I've already made a statement. I made a statement already today, so I'm gonna let you guys go first, and then we'll. So Phil, what's your you've been talking about it a little bit already. What's your thoughts?
It's like I said, this discussion has been ran over previous times, and we all know who brings in the money in these sports. But Nick Strength Power made it very clear. He said, look at her show. Her men are making, the 212 is making more money than her women. So if that was the case, she has the opportunity when she promotes her show to make it the women make more money than the 212 or the men. And yet she has way more women classes than she do men. So the way Nick broke it down, which I didn't even know this information, to me, it becomes hypocritical what she's now stating here when she has the power to represent the women, to do it on her side as a promoter, which she already knows as a promoter, which any promoter knows, what brings in the money is who's going to make the money. I mean, it's just straight common sense.
Yeah, Ron, what's your thoughts?
Well, the comparison has been made many, many times, and I think it's a very valid comparison. NBA versus WNBA. Who's the highest paid? What's the highest paid guy in the NBA? What does he make a year? I don't know, because I have no idea. It's a lot of money, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Versus WNBA. And why is that? The WNBA doesn't even make money. It loses money. It's subsidized by the NBA. People go to the Olympia weekend. Yeah, of course there are fans of the female divisions. Sure, they have all followers, but does that translate into ticket sales? When people are paying $1,000 for a VIP ticket and they're flying over from Germany or Kuwait or something, who are most of those people coming to see? Open men, classic physique, a lot of them too. If they had the women's divisions on a completely different, a month apart, how would that perform financially? Sponsors, ticket sales, pay-per-view compared to the men's? I think we would all agree, with no hate towards anybody, the men's show, the men's Olympia divisions would by far outpace everything financially. It's just economics. It's capitalism. It's supply and demand. If their divisions brought in more money, they would be making more money. That's all it is. It's not that the promoters, well, we're not going to pay the women as much. No, all they care about is if the women's divisions were making more money than the men, they would be paying them. They don't care. They're about the money. They're all about the money. It's a business. So, I mean, we respect, of course, we respect the women's divisions. The women work as hard as the men. No one's arguing that. But as far as nobody deserves more money, you get the money that you bring back. It's return on investment. These promoters, they're in it. They're paying the people they're generating the revenue. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
Geez, comments, man. These are getting bad. Okay.
Oh, holy man. Oh, really. Say cheesy.
So I saw that, and so I made a post here about in response to Lenda, which she commented on. I'll play it quick. I just wanted to chime in quickly here about the Lenda Murray, whatever that's happening on social media, her calling out the Arnold for increasing the prize money for the men, but not giving any love to the women's classes. And I gotta say first, I love Lenda Murray. Okay, no one hates Lenda Murray. She's amazing. Let's just put that out there first. Yeah. But I think, Lenda, you have to realize that, what about your own show? You have a show, and you have men's divisions and you have women's divisions. If you're so concerned about the women not getting paid enough, why don't you increase the prize money for the women's divisions at your own show? As you can see here, this is Lenda's show. She's paying men's 212 more than the women's bodybuilder in the other division. So, Lenda, why not increase your prize money first before you call out others? So, And then you can see the comments in here. Even like Dusty Hanshaw says, my favorite part was when she brought up the fact that third place guy at the Arnold only has 800K IG followers. At the top, 5 women have more than that combined. She forgets that this isn't about how many followers they have. It's about who puts paying asses in the seats, or that people will pay to watch an on stream, and that is not women's bodybuilding. And same reason they drop men's 212 and figure. It's a business. So it's not just women, it's men too. They get rid of the 212. Or the Arnold got rid of the 212 too.
Yep.
So you can't say it's just a women thing. It's a
What
business
what
thing.
I'm curious about, why call out, what you call it though? Like that I didn't understand. Why call out Andrew Jack? Why not the second place person? Why not the first place person? Like why?
Yeah,
and I think that's the big issue some people have. Like why? And I think of course Andrew Jack took offense to that because she got the money price wrong. But like why did she call him out?
Yeah, I agreed with that. And then Lee Priest saw my post, reposted this about it, and it's just like she's being a hypocrite. That's why I put it in the video, put that in the title, because she's being a hypocrite. If you're gonna do this, Linda, we love you. Let's see the reverse. If you think it's based on followers and how much people are paying attention to these women on social media, and it's gonna bring in more people to watch your show, and then in return make your show more money, then you put the women above the men. Linda, just do it. Do it for your next show. Set the example. Step up. You're asking Arnold to step up. You have a pro show. You step up. You put the prize money for the women's bodybuilding at the top. You pay them more than the men's if you think it's going to give you a better return.
And
But
she's paying the women's wellness winner $6,500 for first place, and women's bodybuilding $4,000.
Yeah.
So if she thinks women's body, I don't think she was being specific about divisions, but I would.
Yeah, no, like you see here, she's paying men's 212, 8,000 for first, and then women's bodybuilding is $4,000. She's half the prize money. Why? What rationale did you make to think I'm going to pay the women less than the men, and then I'm going to go on social media and call out Arnold? You didn't call out Dan Solomon. You called out Arnold, and same thing goes for the Olympia, Linda. So why pick on the Arnold? Same thing happens for third place at the Olympia.
She works for the Olympia.
Exactly.
That's why.
That's what's going on here. So it's pretty obvious what's going on here. And it's funny that they keep nitpicking at the Arnold. This is all, to me, this is all, it's orchestra. I don't know. I mean, I just can see through this stuff. I've been in the game long enough. You guys have been in the game long enough. This stuff doesn't just happen. People talk, they get together. Hey, Linda, go out there, say this, go. That's what I think. I'm just speculating, but I think that stuff actually happens, and they think about this before they go out and make this message to dig at Arnold after he increases the prize money and does a great thing for the sport, and then he gets this from Linda, which she's great. Don't hate Lenda Murray. Respect her. She's Miss Olympia. She's awesome, but I think she made a little bit of a misstep when she came out with this, and then she attacked Andrew Jack. For all people, I don't know why.
I think I have my theory on that is just because she was trying to find someone who won as much money by placing lower than first as all the women did combined, and he was the closest dollar figure to that.
Yeah. It's just women will get paid as much as men when they bring in as much money as men. Simple as that. If women could understand that concept, it's not going to be a charity. Sorry, it can't be a charity case. Like, well, you know what? Just to be, equal rights here and equal. No, it's not. We can't do it. Just like the WNBA, they can't do it. They're subsidizing them, but I don't think the pro league can subsidize women's divisions and pay them as close as they can to the men's competitors. That's just not going to happen anytime soon. Yeah. So I think they should be grateful that they can compete alongside the men and have the opportunity to have their careers as female athletes in the sport. And if it was from a business standpoint where they were bringing in more revenue and more fans, of course the promoters would pay you guys more in a heartbeat. But that's just not the case. But I just don't like it when they come out and they complain about not being paid as much. It's like as if they want to give me more money so I can be on the same level as this guy. But that guy's bringing in more money though.
Yeah.
If it was reversed, would you want it the same way? I don't know. It's a business. You're a promoter. Linda, you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing Arnold's doing, is paying the women less in your own show. So you can't come out and talk on social media if you're not setting the standard and the example yourself, Lenda Murray. That's all.
Yeah.
So that's all we can do is talk about it, have a conversation. She made a nice comment, and she said she respects everyone and what they said about this conversation. And it is what it is. But it's kind of funny how the Olympia and the Arnold's going back and forth. A question to you guys: do you think now the Arnold is, like the Super Bowl bodybuilding in a sense, because 750 to the Olympia 600? Is Jake Wood going to step up and announce that this year's Mr. Olympia that we're doing 750 or doing 800, 850? What's the strategy? They have to do something. They cannot be second place to the Arnold. What do you guys think is going to happen there?
My opinion, because I had that conversation with Patty, because I saw when Dad came out of the New York Pro, I thought he was going to say something then, because he did mention about Arnold raising the prize money. I think that was just more, which I take it as more of a respect thing, because it wasn't a dig. He was just basically saying, everything exciting with the sport of bodybuilding. Arnold, moved up with the prize money. If anything's going to be done, it's going to be like last year, like just at the spur of the moment, if that's the decision that's made. Me, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. But once again, like I said, if it does, they don't show their cards. They'll just do it like they did it last year, like boom, you know what I mean, right then and there. But at the end of the day, though, we always got to remember, it is a business, so it's got to make sense. If the money, if they make that money, and they see the numbers as the show's go on. Oh, I wouldn't be shocked if Jake Woods does do it. But I think it has to make sense to do it. I hope they do, but do I believe it's going to happen? I don't think they want to go tit for tat, because the Olympia is the Olympia. They believe I don't want to say they believe, they know they are the best in the world. So do they have to go tit for tat? I don't think they do. Would it make it interesting if that does happen? Absolutely. So we'll see. We'll see at the last minute if that decision is made by Jake Woods at the last call.
Ron, what do you think? Do you think the Olympia is going to step
up?
up?
I think the check is going to be flipped around like it was last year, and it's going to be $1 million.
That'd be big.
I said it. You heard me. So
that'd be big.
Oh man, can you imagine? Because that's what they did at the 2024 Miss Olympia. Everyone thought they were going to get $500,000 first place, and then Jake comes up with a $600,000 check.
$650
on that day. It wasn't for next year's. It was that actual one.
Just that year.
Yeah. So if he does that, and Derek or Samson has won it, or Nick or whoever, Hottie has won it, and they're waiting for the $600,000 check, and it's $1 million. Bam. Wow. That's that. Hey, Dan Solomon, if you want the opportunity to have that moment, Jake Wood, this is, you better do it. This is because if you don't, Arnold's probably going to do it in 2027.
That would definitely shut the door if they did that. That door would be slammed shut. You know what I mean? I just don't see it happening, but it'd be great if it did.
Yeah, and in the Olympia's defense, because I don't want to shit on the Olympia, they do have a lot more people to pay. They have all the divisions. They don't have the choice of eliminating divisions like Arnold. They don't have that discretion. And Arnold is invite only. I think it's about 12 or 15 per division, and that's all they have to worry about is flying out and putting up those people. Olympia is like 300 and what they have, like 320 or something, 330 athletes. Phil, do you know, do they pay for the spouses to fly too, or is it like a +1?
For the Arnold?
No, for the Olympia.
No.
Okay.
I think they did away with that a little bit ago, because I remember all the pro shows used to, even the spouses, tickets were free. Okay. That stopped after 2020. So now, the spouses, now Patty had to pay for her ticket. Now we didn't get there.
Yeah, but still, we're talking about 300 athletes versus, I'm not very good at math, but it's less than 100 for the Arnold total athletes.
Yeah, and plus the Arnold Expo makes a freaking killing, they said. So that gives them the room to play with some numbers.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that if the Olympia, whoever gets to $1 million first. Now Arnold did say it's like $1 million because you got the Ohio and then you got the UK 250. That's $1 million in 1 year. from an Arnold win. So it's splitting it up there. But one show, who's going to be the first for one show winner to get to that million? It's a battle. But hey, this is great. This is great.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Look how much money these guys are going to be making now. Like, it's unbelievable. $750,000 at the Arnold. Do you think every top 5 Olympia is going to be like from the top 5 of this year's Mr. Olympia is going to go next year?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Isn't that really crazy?
When they saw this, man, and it went viral, dude,
yeah,
they already chomping at the bits. Right after Olympia, they're going to all be freaking staying in prep and getting ready to go right into Arnold.
It's a whole new level. This is going to bring a lot more athletes, I think, from the outside, the mainstream, watching this now, saying that if I work hard, I become Mr. Olympia, I, can win that much money now. It's no longer 100,000 or 200 or 400. Now it's getting close to $1 million, which changes your life if you win $1 million. Like that, you're done, you're good. So it's going to be good for the sport. We're going to see a lot of guys coming out of the woodwork, colleges that play football, that are genetic freaks. They're just going to start wanting to come instead of doing football, getting paid $200,000-300,000 a year, whatever, in a low league. You can now make a lot of money in bodybuilding in the IPB Pro League. So I think it's great. It's going to be insane, and it's going to make the athletes train harder too. It's going to make it more competitive, I think, with this type of money in the sport. So excited for it. All right, guys. So we'll wrap it up there. I appreciate you guys for joining. I had the poll. I wanted to do the poll real quick. Is Lenda Murray a hypocrite for calling out Arnold for the prize money? 73% say yes. 27% say no. So pretty clear, concise opinion on that one there, guys. But all right, we will wrap it up. We'll be back next week. Appreciate you guys, Ron and Phil. We'll catch you on the next one.
Hey, guys.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Hey, guys. Peace.
Have a great night. Goodbye.
See ya.